All right, hello everyone. We are back with the COE 1v1 tournament for 2022. We're about to get started with our first matchup of the quarterfinals, so if you are not already over here in front of the stage, head on over. We'll be able to get started in just a minute. I'm Dio, I'm back here again with Miles this time for the first match of the day.
Hello, Dio, and hello, crowd. We are back here with the quarterfinals of the COE 1v1 tournament, and our first match today is going to be Blue versus Reedkatt, and I think it's sure to be an interesting match.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this match personally. I think that both of these players have a lot of really solid picks in this map pool. We saw both of them have very good matches yesterday. Reedkatt with the first sweep of the day, 5-0, and Blue with a 5-3 win in a pretty clutch matchup earlier in the day as well. So I am really excited to see what they both bring to the table for this one. Thank you. Without any further ado, I think both players are already in the lobby, so we should be able to get into roles. If both players could come to the middle, we'll go ahead and get started with that. All right, Reedkatt with the black die and Blue with the white die. All right, Reedkatt with the 62 and Blue with the 42. Reedkatt wins the roll, and from there we can get started. So I'm thinking about protects and bans for both of these players. We saw Blue yesterday go for protecting a lot of the lower approach rate picks, Nomad 6 and Hidden 2. I think those are both pretty solid picks against Reedkatt here. I don't think there's really any chance he protects anything else. Probably banning out one of the hard rocks that's left up after Reedkatt gets his own protects in.
Absolutely. I think Blue is an absolutely stellar reading player, and he's going to want to certainly protect some of those picks against a player like Reedkatt. While Reedkatt is a proficient hard rock player, he's definitely going to protect some of those. And in terms of bans, I think you kind of hit it right on the head. Blue is going to take out a hard rock, and Reedkatt is going to take out the remaining gimmick map left up.
Yeah, I'm kind of expecting either a double time 4 ban from Reedkatt or something like the Hidden 3 or Hidden 1, probably one of those two to be banned out after the protects from Blue get put away. But it sounds like we're just about ready to switch over to it. Hopefully we'll get that map pool screen on the screen for you soon. In the meantime, I think we can kind of think about what goes on after we get through a lot of the really easy picks for both of these players. Reedkatt's a very good tech player, very good ult player, has a lot of really solid scores on things like the Nomad 4, the Nomad 3 in this pool. So I think a lot of those later stage picks after you get through some of the protected maps could potentially decide the course of this match, right? Both players kind of with some very easy picks straight away, and then with some maybe more difficult picks later on in the match.
I actually think both of the players are going to try to avoid the Nomad 3 and Nomad 4 because, as you said, Reedkatt is a very strong player on those maps, but Blue is also no slouch. He likes to pick his Nomad 4s, his tech maps, maybe even his alt map sometimes. I think he's less favored on that one, but I think it's kind of a risky ground for both players. We might see it very late in the match, but I wouldn't be expecting the players to be necessarily eager to pick those. I think they're probably going to exhaust the DT pool first because I actually think that might just be the battleground of this match. Neither player necessarily a DT specialist, but they both are able to play the mod on certain types of maps. I think, as you said, like that DT4 for Blue, I don't think Reedkatt is going to ban that map because he's going to want to get rid of one of the hiddens instead, but that type of map could certainly be picked late in the match.
Yeah, some of the gimmick maps for sure I think might be avoided, and like you said, we'll probably see some of the mechanics picks come into play, either in double time, maybe in Nomad. Those might potentially see some gameplay during this match as well.
Yeah, it's kind of a funny matchup seeing the two players who aren't necessarily speed players have to go into speed maps, as there are a few speed maps in the pool. There's about 3, Nomad 5, DT2, DT3. I'm going to be a bit curious to see which player decides to opt into that, because those 3 points, if you can win one of them, you're going to feel confident going into the other two.
All right, there we are. So we've got the chat up right now. We see Reedkatt protecting Hard Rock 2 and Hard Rock 3. Blue protecting Nomad 6 and Hidden 2. So pretty expected. Hard Rock 1 left up as a potential ban for Blue, and he is going to ban that one. And of course, Hidden 3 banned out for Reedkatt afterwards.
Yeah, Reading and Hard Rock being protected by the 2 players as expected. And Blue first picking Nomad 5. It looks like he is going to try to take the advantage on speed. Reedkatt saying he almost protected that though, so.
And we kind of talked about this, both players maybe wanting to pick into some of the speed maps. It looks like going for a toss-up pick at the start for Blue rather than one of those protected maps, potentially saving some of those protected picks for later on into the match when he can try to close it out cleanly without the tiebreaker, or to be able to easily force a tiebreaker if he is down a point by the end of the match.
Yeah, I think especially in a matchup like this, those 2 protected match on each player are going to be picks that they are going to think that they can reliably win and get a point on the board with, so they're probably going to want to go for a more toss-up pick for their first pick, as we see with this Nomad 5.
All right, and there we go, ready to get into it. Of course, we have a little bit to talk about this map. I think we'll see both players, unable to skip for a portion of this map. So we can talk about exactly what fills this map. And it's honestly pretty simple patterns most of the way through. 260 BPM streams and bursts all through the map. And this is one of those maps in the pool that is really consistent in difficulty all throughout the pick. It's not something that spikes a lot. It is a little bit harder near the end of the map, but the difference in difficulty isn't that high between the beginning and the end.
Looks like the layout of the stream has changed a little bit since yesterday.
Yeah, we have notably the normal default skin instead of the laser default skin, it looks like, for this one. And background rim 100% as well, so very, very readable.
Looks like both players having some trouble with the start. Down in the 80%. Blue looking to have stabilized a little bit better though, approaching 90% accuracy with that 100 combo. On laser scoring, those 100 combo chains are going to be very important, but he does break it.
Finally, the combo gets thrown together for Reedkatt. He started out really down in combo, but has now been able to get the score lead back toward his side. Blue, however, with a much better combo at the moment, should start to build up some score lead of his own, and there it goes over to him. About a 20,000-30,000 score lead right now.
And in this little alternate section, he's going to be able to reliably chain up some more combo. But into the difficult burst, both players break even more.
And this is why we called this map a toss-up pick. Neither of these players with a really decisive advantage, but Blue has been able to accrue more and more combo all throughout the map and has been able to get a decisive lead at this point, nearly 70,000 score up at the halfway point.
Reedkatt with a sizable combo advantage though, going into one of the more intense parts of the map after this break. He's going to be able to start taking the lead back as long as he can hold that combo.
Yeah, we haven't seen too many players break on these 1/3 into the easier streams, but now this section is where you see a lot of consecutive bursts. Triples and quints one right after the other can be very, very difficult for some players, but Reedkatt looking like he has no trouble with it right now, is basically SSing this section at the moment. Finally dropped some accuracy on that stream. Has huge combo lead.
It's a break though, and the 100 is going to start to take this back. Oh, but he breaks.
Both players. Blue having very solid. Of combo lead, and this is going to be.
Yeah, as stated yesterday on the laser scoring.
And it doesn't look like either player is really able to accrue a massive combo lead here at the end with barely any map left. It looks like Reedkatt will just barely be able to take it back. That big combo through the middle of the map doing wonders for him near the end here and granting him just barely enough score lead to stay in the lead. 20K, not even 20K, but he finds the first pick breakpoint off of Blue.
It's Michael. Not going Blue's way. Very unfortunate for Cat, though. Taking the early break point, he is going to be able to go into, I think, one of his protected picks.
Yeah, I would be very surprised to see Reedkatt not pick into the hard rock here. Something that he is known for being extremely good at, and especially that hard rock 2, the ultra high circle size precision pick, something that Reedkatt is incredibly solid on and known for in the tournament scene as being one of those best players at it.
Oh, but it looks like Reedkatt is going for the Nomad 3 pick. Tokyo OC.
Yeah, this map also a pretty solid pick for Reedkatt. This one is a little bit different from what you usually expect in the Nomad 3 slot. It's very, very snap aim focused, almost like 260 BPM jumps back and forth across the screen, with a lot of lower BPM streams mixed in, 190-ish BPM, I believe. And a lot of this is focused on transitioning between some of the ridiculous stream shapes on those lower BPM streams into those really, really high BPM jumps in this map. If you don't have the aim control for this pick, you're going to find frequent combo breaks all throughout the map. But for somebody like Reedkatt, who does have the precision to do well on something like that high circle size 7 pick, something like this, the aim control is not going to be a massive requirement for him.
Yeah, I think going into this pick, it really does make sense for Reedkatt. I think if I were him, I just took a very early break point. I feel I want to pick one of my protected picks to kind of have a guaranteed consolidated break point, which is something that's extremely valuable going into a match.
And it does look like Reedkatt is off to a solid start, has had better combo in the first quarter of the map or so. Blue not too far behind, however, and with a bit of a combo lead of his own, could be able to take this score lead back, and it does swap over. But we've seen Reedkatt come back on the previous pick, so far too early to say anything about who could potentially win this one. There's a miss for Reedkatt. Blue follows it up right afterwards. That is a pretty big score lead now for Blue, though, over 50K in his favor. So it's going to take a pretty solid combo lead for Reedkatt to swing that back.
Yeah, as aforementioned, combo resets will always favor the player who is in the lead on this form of laser scoring. But that break from Blue is going to have a few consequences. Lead for Reedkatt now 100.
And you can see the score lead starting to swap over as well. Really just the score evaporating at this point as Reedkatt continues to hold combo, and there's the swap. Blue finding another break during that section is not going to help his case for holding on to the lead as well. And at this point, he needs to hope for a miss from Reedkatt and for himself to pop off if he wants to take back the break point that he just lost.
Reedkatt king has gone through to 60,000 score lead. And although Blue has reestablished combo for a while to take a
And unfortunately, Blue not able to hold on to the combo long enough. With that, Reedkatt almost guaranteed the point. Just a quarter of the map left and a 50,000 score lead for Reedkatt. It would take a miracle for Blue to bring this back. We'll see if he can hold on to the combo long enough to bring it home, but no, not going to be enough, as he does find a couple of misses here in the last quarter of the map. This is the hardest part of this map as well, so it would be phenomenal if he could hold on to it, but it's not going to be the case. And Reedkatt, with that earlier score lead, should be able to start off with a 2-0 lead over Blue. Very solid stuff from both players during that map, but unfortunately for Blue, not enough to take back that breakpoint. Reedkatt going to start out with the 2-0 lead, a first pick breakpoint into winning his own pick on that Nomad 3. Of course, none of these maps that have been picked so far, neither Nomad 3 nor Nomad 5, were either of the protected picks for these players. So we may see Blue want to go into one of those protected maps to just put himself on the board and stop the bleeding for now. Looks like he's going to go for a slightly different pick. It is Hidden 1 getting picked up by Blue for now. Disorder by Hune. This is the Stream Aim map in Hidden.
I think this pick makes sense for Blue. Even though he didn't protect this pick, I think it is still a very strong pick for him against Reedkatt. Not necessarily a very strong hidden player. This map is very gimmicky, has a lot of very difficult streams with variable spacings, and lots of snap aim on the jumps. I think it's definitely a map that will come to favor him.
Well, we'll see if that ends up being the case or not. Reedkatt now with an early score lead in the match, still up 2-0. And Blue with not the best start to this one. Going to be dropping on the first set of streams here, and on the second stream as well. So early combo lead for Reedkatt in this map. Not going the way that Blue would have liked it to at the start, but he'll probably be able to find a combo lead later on into the map. He won't be able to, though, if he keeps finding these misses on some of the random stream sections. This map doesn't really get any harder or easier as well. This custom by Rollpan is very consistent in what the streams do and the difficulty therein. The ending quarter is probably the most difficult portion of the map, but it's not, again, too much harder than what you see here.
Reedkatt is just making me eat my own words on this map. He is absolutely demolishing these streams, up at 99.3%. He has had an absolutely great showing in the intro of this map, even though he is currently dropping a lot of combo and accuracy. That 400k score at the halfway mark is extremely strong, and he has about an 80k score lead. That's going to do him very well going into one of the harder sections of this map.
Yeah, Blue very much needs to hold on to whatever combo he can get right now. If he's not able to get some kind of big combo lead during this back half, then he will lose this pick, and it'd be a 3-0 lead for Reedkatt with the next pick as well. Here comes the hard part. This is where so many players find misses on the accelerating, decelerating cut streams in this part of the map. Blue off to a very good start, however, still holding on to some combo, does finally find a miss. Both players missing on the wiggle stream, and it closes the score lead a bit, but not enough. 70,000 still the lead for Reedkatt, and that is not going to be enough for Blue to stage the comeback. Less than a quarter of the map left, and I think this one is as good as done for Reedkatt.
I think you're right. This is an absolutely insane showing from Reedkatt on the hidden pick. Comboing through much of the beginning section is going to be enough for him to take this break point on the hidden 1 against Blue and take a 3-0 lead in the match.
Reedkatt showing off that even though he might not be as good at hidden as you expect him to be most of the time as an all-rounder, he still is not number 1 for no reason. He got that seeding for a reason. He's an extremely strong player all around, and you know, with a 3-0 lead with next pick, you can expect him to make it 4-0 at the start here. This is an amazing start for him on this match.
And with Reedkatt's pick next, I think it's just one of the hard rocks at this point. When you have a 3-0 lead, you only need those 2 hard rocks to win the match. He has the lead. He has everything he needs to take the match right now with those 2 hard rocks, but Blue is going to have to try to stage a comeback on those types of maps, which is something that might be a little difficult against a player like Reedkatt, one of the most proficient hard rock players in the game.
But Reedkatt has actually gone for double time 4 this time around. Double time 4, the aim map in, well, aim control map in double time. 166 BPM after DT makes this map relatively slow for the pool. Very, very almost alt flow aim focused sort of pick with a lot of finger control mixed in as well. Very, very tricky sort of pick, but not a high approach rate pick, so a little bit less reading strain than you might expect on a map like this. It's all about the aim control and finger control mechanics for this one. And apparently Blue having some wrong settings on his PC, so hopefully we'll be able to see him pop off in the next couple of maps, as he had raw input turned off. So hopefully we'll be able to see him. Hopefully we'll be able to see him pop off. Apparently Reedkatt's sensitivity was also at 1.8 times instead of the usual. So both of these players dealing with some setup issues.
Well, hopefully we don't see any issues with them reverting their settings back to their normal settings for this map as we get into this DT4 here. I can't help but feel like Reedkatt is kind of throwing Blue a bone with this one because he had those 2 protected hard rock picks left, and he is quite easily the best hard rock player in this tournament. But, you know, this DT4, it could be a very strong pick for Reedkatt, and we just don't know yet.
Actually puts in perspective just how good the scores were from both of these players on these previous maps. If they're both dealing with setup issues and they're still both getting 500 or 600K on some of these picks, those are very, very good scores for them. So I'm excited to see what we see now from them now that their setup issues are mostly dealt with. Both of them comboing all the way through up until the very end of that intro section. Much better accuracy for Blue at the moment, but slightly better score for Reedkatt, who has found better combo here during the jump stream section of the map.
The lead is on a knife's edge, only about 3K in favor of Reedkatt. But he has chained up a combo of about 140. He's going to be able to start running away with the lead, especially if a break comes in from Blue. But there it is, the break from Blue. Now Reedkatt is going to be able to start to run away with this.
And the longer Reedkatt holds this combo, the bigger the score lead will get. It's not that much right now, only about 20,000 score. Blue definitely with the chance to bring this back, but he's going to have to find some more combo in the second half to do so. Reedkatt right now with about a 175 combo lead will continue to accrue some score lead through this slower part of the map. This part is basically free combo, so this is all extra score for Reedkatt. Blue will have to find his combo lead during the hardest part of the map in the last quarter.
And as long as Reedkatt keeps holding on, it just can't happen. There goes the break from Reedkatt, but Blue breaks as well. I think you can kind of write out this pick.
That is already a 140,000 score lead, and with just the last quarter of the map left up, Blue just needed to combo through that part where both of them broke but was unable to do so, and that is the rough part about the timing of these combos that these players accrue. Reedkatt getting his combo right before a section that was, 200 or so free combo, and got so much score lead accrued during that part of the map that it became such a massive uphill battle for Blue. And unfortunately, Blue not up to the task, not able to take the point back, will be down 4-0 at the start. Reedkatt with a 4-0 start, looking to make it 2 clean sweeps in a row.
Reedkatt coming out guns a-blazing in this match, a 4-0 lead against Blue, someone who rode off Arj at a score of 5-1. That was a very, very dominating match from him, but in this match, Reedkatt has just been getting the better of him at every angle. Now, I feel like if I'm Blue, it just has to be that Nomad 6 or that Hidden 2, right? The 2 gimmick maps that he protected, he has to use those to try to stay in this match.
Yeah, 0 protected maps picked by either player at this point. Really, I think, kind of forcing the issue at this point for Reedkatt that Blue has to pick into one of those lower approach rate maps and go with something that is his specialty. Those are his trump cards. And Reedkatt is going to force them out at this point. Both players with 2 picks left, and with 2 protected picks open for both of these players, I think we'll probably just end up seeing all protected maps from here on out, both of them potentially saving them to the end.
Yeah, I feel like this situation kind of shows the chess game that kind of goes with the protect system. Obviously, if you protect a map, it's basically telling your opponent, hey, I'm going to pick this. But so far in this match, we haven't seen any of those maps, and I think it's very interesting.
And it seems like we are already in a map for both of these players, but we unfortunately don't have it on screen. I believe it is the Nomad 6 pick for Blue, and there we go.
Nomad 6, the AR6 Devious Panda custom with some hellish overlaps and lots of variable spacing jumps, as you can see there. As it increases and decreases in spacing, it's very difficult to snap. Looks like Reedkatt having a 70% accuracy, but comboing through a lot of that. But with this break there, Blue is going to have a dominating combo lead.
And with the scoring system in Laser, it's much more akin to Score V1 than it is to Score V2. As long as you hold on to that combo for an extended period of time, you're going to get a massive score lead. And that is exactly what Blue is doing right now, getting the combo lead, getting the score lead, and looking very, very good while he's doing it. 97% accuracy on this pick is extremely good. It is not the 700K that we saw from Badu yesterday, but it is still a very, very solid score on this map. Already 400K halfway through.
Yeah, I think it's unfair to compare anyone to Badu on this map. What he did yesterday was absolutely unreal, but this 440K score at the 2/3 mark from Blue is going to be exceptionally strong, especially against a player like Reedkatt. He has already amassed nearly a 200,000 point lead, and I think this pick is basically just a formality at this point. Blue is going to get on the board with this one.
And with this point on the board for Blue, he will prevent the clean sweep, but he still has a pretty monumental task ahead of him, getting through Reedkatt on 2 different Hard Rock picks, on Hard Rock 2 and Hard Rock 3, which are almost sure to follow. But Blue finally getting a point on the board, putting himself up 1-4 in this matchup. You were talking about the chess game, Miles. Well, Reedkatt has already told Blue that he wants to pick Hard Rock 2 and Hard Rock 3 in this match. We've got 2 picks left for either of these players. I think we're probably going to see one of those 2 maps get picked here. I would be very surprised to see Reedkatt pick another map when both of his protected picks are still up and you only have 2 maximum picks left in the entire match.
Okay, Reedkatt has decided to pick DT3. Definitely an unexpected pick from Reedkatt, but I guess after winning that Nomad 5, he is going to feel comfortable on that speed map. AR 10.3, Hypnospira, the custom by Aistre.
This is the AR 10.3 285 BPM speed pick in double time. Something that is really reserved for only the best speed players if you want to get a high score on this map. Not only do you have to contend with a lot of the really high BPM bursts that this map offers, but also with very fast aim at AR 10.3 and 285 BPM as well. It's something that strains multiple different areas of gameplay in this map and can make it very difficult for players who aren't DT mains to do well on. So far, both of these players, though, holding on through the intro and able to keep their combos together. Off to a very good start for both of them. And again, as long as one of these players can get a combo lead, that is where the score comes from. And I feel like this pick is a lot better for Blue than something like the Hard Rock 2 would have been for him. It gives him a very good chance of getting some combo lead, but there goes the misaim on one of the bursts, and there goes the combo lead for Reedkatt.
Yeah, Reedkatt now with his combo approaching 330. He's going to be able to take such a massive score lead, and you can already see it. Already about 80k score lead for Reedkatt, and as he holds on to his FC, it's only going to keep expanding. Blue really needed to hold on to his FC there in order to match Reedkatt and stay in this match, but, you know, as Reedkatt continues his FC, it just continues to get even further out of reach for Blue.
This is still a full combo for Reedkatt over halfway through the map, which is incredible to see, actually. I don't know that we've seen any full combos so far in this tournament. We've had 0 so far. And I just know I'm cursing it, as there goes his combo on the long streams. But these longer streams near the end of the map are brutal for anybody trying to play them. And both of these players, you can see dropping the accuracy, dropping the combo on those longer streams. And that basically seals it up for Reedkatt. 200,000 score in the lead over Blue on this map. And sure to be a 5-1 scoreline by the end of the match. GG, well played. That is a clean advancement into the semifinals for Reedkatt.
Reedkatt manages to dispatch of Blue by the score of 5-1 without using a single one of his protected picks. That is extremely impressive. Reedkatt keeping perhaps even his strongest guns in his pocket. He hasn't used either of his Hard Rock 2 or Hard Rock 3 picks, but still able to win the match 5-1. I can't just say how impressive that is.
Yeah, neither Hard Rock picked up, and he still gets it. Very well played from both of these players. We saw a lot of close maps in this matchup between Blue and Reedkatt, but ultimately Reedkatt able to come out on top and advance into the semifinals. So we will be saying goodbye to Blue here in the quarters. But Reedkatt, the #1 seed, again, showing why he got that #1 out of qualifiers and keeping his position in the tournament alive. Top 4 guaranteed, and a second match guaranteed as well, as making it to the semifinals guarantees you either at least make it to the finals or get into the 3rd place match.
And unfortunately for Blue, he is going to be eliminated from the COE 2022 1v1. Very well. Yeah, sure. A few words from Blue.
Alright, so I heard Reedkatt wasn't here, so I was banking on him. Oh, thank you. I was banking on Reedkatt not being warm, so that's why I picked into speed, but I don't know, I probably should have picked my protected picks, but you know, what can you do? He's the better player on the day, so I hope he wins the whole thing. You better win it for me. He said he will, so yeah. Thanks for having me, guys.
We may hold him to that. That's going to be it for this match. Thanks so much to Blue and Reedkatt for playing. Thank you to Miles for being here with me. Thank you all for watching. We'll be back in probably 15-20 minutes with the next matchup. It is going to be Badiou versus Malteser, also in the quarterfinals. And Reedkatt will be facing off against the winner of that matchup. Stay tuned.